Hey guys, I have not been on here in forever. I'm Nicole. I just graduated my very first child from homeschool. He did a great job. It was a lot of fun. We homeschooled all the way from the 6th grade up until the 12th grade. And I personally watch a lot of YouTubers. Sorry. And they all say kind of the same thing. It's like there's not enough people talking about high school, and there's not enough. And I think maybe a lot of it is because people quit in high school and they send their kids off to like dual enrollment classes or co-op classes, or they just send them back into the public school system. And we didn't. We chose to go ahead and truck all the way through. And it was trying and it was exciting, and bonds were formed and friendships and things like that. So I just kind of wanted to lay out just a brief synopsis, I guess, of what we actually did and used. And I kind of talked to him a little bit about his favorite things, what he really enjoyed, and what he didn't really enjoy, things like that. So I've got, I guess really the huge chunk of his high school education, even starting in 8th grade, because in 8th grade in our state, we live in Tennessee. In 8th grade in our state, you can earn your high school credits. So he started with like algebra 1, I believe, in the 8th grade, and then also physical science. He got credit for that. So it kind of plays into how his senior year played out. But a huge chunk of his schooling was Ambleside online.com. Check it out. We loved it. It was very literature-based, very Charlotte Mason style of an education. You can learn anything you want to learn through good books. And I just really wanted to instill the joy of reading in my children. And he excelled. He did really well in that. He loved books. He loved reading. He didn't love reading all of the books, but he did love reading, and he's a very intellectual person. So, and I have other ones that are not. They do not enjoy reading. So it was kind of nice going through his high school with him. So we did IEW also. We used a lot of IEW things like Fix-It Grammar and Structure and Style. Highly recommend the Structure and Style videos. If you can get it secondhand, it's very affordable. If not, it's worth it to get the videos of Andrew Poudwa. And he's great, especially for boys. If you have reluctant writers, they don't like it. They just don't want to. He is phenomenal. We used a lot of master books. And it's just a great company all around. It's a Charlotte Mason flavored. I wouldn't say it's Charlotte Mason, but it's definitely inspired by that philosophy, where it's literature based and short work. It's not a lot of seat work, workbook pages, things like that. For the most part, he did teaching textbooks for math his high school year. He did Saxon all the way up through. He was used to public school systems and the textbooks. So when we pulled him out, we used Saxon. And then I found teaching textbooks for geometry and his algebra 2, I believe. And then his 11th grade year, we were pretty much done with math. He didn't really want to go above until college, the algebra 2. So we did a consumer math because it fit right on par with what he was doing. His 11th grade year, he did consumer math and personal finance, and he loved that. That's one thing that I think we loved a lot about his homeschooling he commented every year that he loved the way I put things together for him. Everything kind of tied in together. His English, his history, his extracurriculars, his things like that. It all kind of tied in together, and he really enjoyed that. He loved doing kind of the same thing. So if in Bible he was talking about creation, and science he was doing creation, and then his 11th grade year where he did consumer math and personal finance and things like that. And then I pulled books, of course, like that. We used ABeka for Spanish 1 and 2. We did the videos. We did not do online or anything. We did videos, and he didn't like it. That was his least favorite, I think, of everything that we ever pulled together was his Spanish to ABeka. I wish I had done something differently, and because of that regret, I guess you could call that one in that category, we are doing something different for my now 10th grader. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. I've looked into Fluens, which comes recommended by some other high school moms on YouTube. And then of course you have your typical foreign language apps and things like that. I don't know what we're doing yet, so we'll see. We also used the Dave Ramsey Personal Finance. That was actually one of his very favorite things that he did through his entire high school career. He said teaching textbooks was okay. We did the book form because I did not know about the online format with him. So he did books. He liked it. He did really well with that. He did really well with the consumer math. It was actually really fun. It was kind of like a reprieve with his 11th grade being kind of heavier with chemistry and stuff like that. Teaching textbooks for the high schoolers, I know we're talking about my one that I just graduated, but my 9th grader started with that with Algebra 1 this year, and we dumped it. And then I have noticed other people saying online that they too are dumping it for high school. So we are going to try out Shormann math. It's also online. It's video instructor. They do grading and things like that all online. So you don't have to do anything. You just kind of release and go. Another format that I really like for math is Saxon. If your kid is really a great math student, they have dive CDs to explain it to them if you are really afraid of math. And other things like that. I think any curriculum company that you go to, you'll find a math for them. And it just depends on what your child specifically needs and wants. Knowing what your child wants to do with their lives, and I know that's really hard because they're high schoolers, right? Or you might be like, I've got an 8th grader, they have no idea what they want to do with their lives. You have to look into like your state standards and see what's required of them to graduate high school. If they're college bound, it's a little differently than if they're like trade school bound or, technical colleges and things. Or if they don't want to go to college at all, that's okay too. That's totally fine. But I really like that. I think it's probably all backwards. It's really cool. I don't know if I can link it for you, but it's just a layout of what's required and which grade you're going to do it in. And you can see mine's all kind of messy, and I erased things and scratched things out. And, I really enjoyed this resource. And then I wanted to tell you about some books that he loved, because we did have that conversation, and these are the books that he really, really loved throughout all of his high school education. I told you we did Ambleside, and Ambleside is great literature based. If you don't do Ambleside exclusively, go there and look at their books that they recommend for Bible and oh man, what is that word called? I don't know. I know Bible is like apologetics and things like that. That was his favorite thing out of everything that he ever did. He was an avid reader of apologetic books. He wanted to know everything there ever was. And then like personal growth. And I don't know the word. That's okay. So How Should We Then Live by Francis Schaeffer. He loved this one. This one, he said there's videos on YouTube that were really cool, and basically the videos are the chapters, so you don't really have to read it, but you can. Amusing ourselves to death. Also, I think every high schooler should read this. Everybody in the world should read this book. We need to know this. We need to know. We need a reality check. The Deadliest Monster by J.F. Baldwin. Great book. This is one of the ones that he couldn't put down. With the Charlotte Mason philosophy, you're supposed to read them slow and read a couple chapters and chew on them and narrate them. And he struggled really hard with that book. He didn't want to read that one slow. Apologia for the Law and the Sabbath by Roger Haddad. I think that's how you say his name. That's another really good one. It was before his freshman year of high school. We switched over to Sabbath keeping and feast keeping, just trying to align our lives up with the Bible as best as we can, learning how to delight in God's laws and things like that. So we did a lot of those types of books, and he really, really enjoyed that. I didn't pull all of them. I'm sorry. I wish I had made videos each and every year, but I did not. And that's probably why people are complaining, like, you high school moms, you're not on YouTube, and we have to do it all of ourselves. I know, I feel you. Books that those were some of his favorites. Another one is The Case for Christ. He said everybody should read that one. He also has a movie out, which is excellent. We all really enjoyed that one. And then this is Love, Honor, and Virtue. Gaining or regaining a biblical attitude towards sexuality. This is Hal and Melanie Young. Hal and Melanie Young, if you're not familiar with them, they have a podcast. I highly recommend this couple. They've raised, I think, 6 boys and 2 girls, maybe. I think it's a lot of boys. And they're incredible. They go to the homeschool conferences, and you can just sitting in the room with them, you feel wiser when it comes to raising these children. They wrote Raising Real Men. They've written a marriage book. This couple is where it's at. They are smart. They are smart. And then this right here, also, if you are interested in talking to your children about these things, this is actually the 3rd book in the series. It's called The Talk by Luke and Tricia Gilkerson. There are 3 books in this. They're for different ages. You sit down kind of family style, and it's an open and go. No, if you struggle with talking to your children about puberty and changes in their body and relationships and things like that, you can just read it. You can just stare at the book and you can just read it. And I think this book is actually one that I handed to my oldest to have him read it, and then we had conversations. I really like those. It's very biblical based. Very much a wait, don't awaken that part of your life until you're ready for marriage. Some other things that he really loved were the courses that I put together. We didn't just do health one year. I did not buy him a health textbook from a curriculum company and say, here you go, and now you know everything. He did something every single year with that. Those are where some of those books came in the mix. He really loved the getting into like the farming books, the nutrition aspects of things like that. I pulled a lot of resources from YouTube and and I had him watch them and just kind of narrate what he learned, write pages and things like that for those. I did not write any of those down either. It was kind of like, you know, the documentaries about food, you know, that we're killing ourselves, and why is America obese, and forks over knives, and things like that. If you just type in YouTube nutrition documentaries or food documentaries, how they are raising our animals. And it was intense too. He has watched some things and he's like, and I'm never eating dairy ever again, or I'm never eating meat ever again. And he got over it. But it's just so good to know where it's all coming from and what it's doing to our bodies. And he was very thankful to learn about things like that. Another thing that he really loved is our kiwi crates that we did. We've done kiwi crates for a long time. They're different ages. I think his age group is the Eureka crates, and they build really cool things. He really, really loved just the pause in our normal weekly schedule to do something like that. That was a lot of fun. And of course, his favorite subject was his apologetics. Apologetics and him were just hand in glove. Isn't that proper? He is my apologetics kid. He wanted to know everything about everything. Worldviews, he loved it. Everything that had to do with Christianity and where we are right now, he wanted to soak it all up. So he graduated with honors. He did excellent. I think one of my biggest regrets is thinking that I had him his senior year and I did not. At that point, he got a job and worked a lot, and he was in all dual enrollment classes. And I did not expect that when I was planning out coming out of his 8th grade, and I was planning out his high school years, sitting down with 9th grade, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've got him for 4 years. And then even his junior year, I was like, oh, okay, I've got him for 2 more years. And I didn't. His junior year ended, and he wasn't sitting underneath me anymore. He started his dual enrollment classes that summer, and that's what he did his senior year. He dual enrolled with Bryan College, and going off to college. And I think Bryan College is really cool. Their dual enrollment system was really, really easy. And I know you can dual enroll. We could have done it like locally, and you can do it locally. You can do it all online. I really liked their professors and how they handled things. There was one that was not very communicative, but we got through it. It was just a really easy process. We didn't have to pay for a lot of it because there's like grants and things like that. And it gives him high school credits along with college credits also. And you just make sure that the college that you use transfers over to the college that they're going to, or it's kind of silly to do that. So that's another thing that you have to be careful and look out for. Another one of my regrets is not teaching writing better. We did do IEW, structure and style, for the first year or two, and I wish I had continued. I wish we did it his freshman year. I'm sorry. I did it with my other students other than that. I wish I had gone ahead and purchased the other things, or gone ahead and started him learning about the MLA and the APA formatting. Because when he started doing his college dual enrollment classes, it was a little stressful. I think college professors just assume a basic knowledge of things like that. And so they're just like, here you go, do this. And we're like Googling and YouTubing. And it's like, how do we do this? I'm thankful for the cousin that they had that had done it before, because she was instrumental in our knowledge to do APA and MLA formatting. So I wish I had, and I will do a stronger writing with my other children. That is one thing that I'm implementing in it now. We're going to start doing larger research papers and get those formatting issues under control now before they're launched into the college world. I believe my next one is also college bound. So far, it can change. And I would be happy either way. I'm not saying you have to go to college. In fact, it might not be the best idea for anybody right now to go to college, but they're pursuing their dreams, and I'm happy for them. I think those are the biggest ones. I think those are my biggest regrets. and I've shared our loves, and I've shared what we used and things like that. So this, I'm sorry, I forgot. This is something that he really, really loved. This is like one of his favorite curriculums that he did. I believe that was the 11th grade. He did Foundations in Personal Finance from Dave Ramsey. Just be careful when you do this curriculum that you're actually talking to your children and you're open and honest about finances. There are some things that he is very strict in. So my son got it in his head that he wanted to save every dime for college, and he didn't want to start college until he had the money. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe not. I get it. I get the heart after it, and I get not being in debt. It makes sense. And you guys could be screaming at me that I am a silly goose for saying no to Dave Ramsey on some of his thoughts. But that was a favorite book for him. Also, another favorite curriculum, one that he chose for me to share, was Master Books, Government and Economics. This one is called Civics and the Constitution. It's a whole system. It's both government and economics. There's another book that comes with it. This. He loved this so much. It was a lot of fun for him. With his science, we did Apologia. All of his sciences that he did. He didn't necessarily thrive in science, but again, he was one of my intellectual ones. He didn't need any hand-holding. He just did the work that was in front of him. He's very obedient, and he doesn't push the boundaries. So if I handed him something, he did it. One thing that he really did enjoy from the Apologia sciences was how it was written. We did all of, I believe it was Jay Weil that wrote all of the high school ones. And I don't know if you can actually get those anymore from Apologia. I think you might have to go to Berean Builders and do theirs, because Jay Weil kind of divorced Master Books, if you will. And he's got his own company, Berean Builders, now. And I don't know. It's in either place. I do know that Berean Builders, Jay Weil himself teaches video. It's not biology. It is biology. I don't know. I'm sorry. Just go there, and he has videos that you can purchase along with the book. It makes it a little bit easier. But his style of writing was really cool. My son really, really loved his style of writing. He said it's like conversational and informational, and it wasn't dry. My children never liked dry textbooks. I don't like dry textbooks. That's why we were a very literature-based family. I just want them to love what they're learning and to not be bored to tears with it. I am not a rote memorization. You have to know these dates. You have to know these people. You have to know these facts before you can pass. I just want them to love what they are learning, because we have Google, because we have YouTube, because we have the world in our fingers right now, and they really don't need to know where Dubai is located, because they can Google it, right? If they want to know it, I want them to know how to figure it out. And that's kind of the way I approach our homeschool. Another thing that I do for all of my children, but these notebooks, again, I'm in Tennessee. If I did not say that, I'm sorry. We do not have to keep much. We don't have to keep anything. This is for me to look back on. These notebooks, what I do is take just pieces of their school year and put them in a 3-ring binder, just a 1-inch 3-ring binder, so I can keep it. I keep their things that they wrote. I keep their test scores, their little, what we did that year, their artwork, their poetry, whatever they memorized, whatever they loved. That's what I keep in these binders, and it's for me. It's not for anybody else. Part of me started it just in case I had some wonky person, like, send me into the authorities, or or my family call and be like, she's not educating her children. I wanted proof that I was educating my children, though that's never happened to me. I'm certain it's happened to other people. But those notebooks are a lot of fun to do and put together, and just to kind of look over and pull out the gems that they did. I think that's all I'm going to share today. You can do high school. You don't have to release your children into the high school world. You can do it. It's not easy all the time, but it's doable, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool just being able to do life side by side with your high schooler. They change a lot, and it goes really, really fast, and it's worth it. It's worth all of the tears, and it's worth all of the crazy researching that you're in the middle of, and it's worth second guessing, and it's just amazing. There are so many other incredible homeschool curriculum companies that I did not mention. They're just out there. If you go to like Kathy Duffy reviews, I think that's what it's called. You can like Google high school curriculum or homeschool curriculum, and you are going to be inundated with thousands of choices. And just pick the one that your kid loves. Are they a reader? Go Charlotte Mason. Do they hate reading? Go video lectures. Are they hands-on? Do that. There's something for everybody. There's something literally for everybody. Are you unschoolers? They have those too. Are you strict? I need all of the textbooks, all of the worksheets. I need all of the tests and the quizzes, and Friday has to be they have those too. BJU, Abeka, they have those also. Do you not want to do any of it, but you just really want your child at home? You can do that too. They have Abeka videos. It's doable. It's incredible. I think some of my favorite memories of homeschooling him through high school was just because we are like a Charlotte Mason kind of flavored, not strict by no means, but flavored family. We sat down and did morning basket, morning time, whatever you want to call it, with the kids, and we did art and poetry and Bible memorization, handicrafts, folk songs. Those were like some of the funniest things to do, is the folk songs, Shakespeare. Some of my fondest memories, and I think it grew us as a family. And if you have any questions, just let me know below. I can do individual years, but it's really, really, really going to be dependent on your own children and what they desire to do. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. And good luck, and have fun and enjoy your high school years with your child. And again, I just want to say you can do it. Just make sure you're feeding yourself. Make sure that you are praying about it. Make sure that the Father is leading you, and make sure you check in with your child. If it's not working, put it down. If it is working, don't change it. Don't be distracted by all of the thousands of curriculum companies. If they love something, stick with it. If they hate it and it's making you cry, post it for sale in the resale groups and buy something else. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to change, and it's okay to sit, and it's okay to go on vacation. And it's okay to just give them a bunch of books and to let them read and to let them learn. And it's okay to utilize other people. That's it. I've got to go. I am so thankful that you watched this video, and I'm with you. I'm with you in the trenches. I got one gone. I have 2 more coming up, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know what I'm doing next year for school, and I've already done this. So you're not alone. You're not crazy. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through it. Pray and have fun. Bye, guys.